Oh, that was weird. Anyways, hello everybody. My name is Zerduku, and welcome back to Chapter 2, and welcome to Chapter 2 of Mr. Maniac the Raccoon. I hope you guys are excited. What about you, Akari?
Yeah.
Are you looking at your cell phone
No.
again?
No. Ball.
What?
Ball.
Oh, I'm sorry about the audio with that microphone. For some reason, it keeps coming in with like a double voice. I can't fix it. I can't figure it out. OBS is tricky to me. So, without further ado, how about we switch seats and begin?
Yes, please.
Put that there.
Swoosh.
I was moving the mouse so you know where it was.
Yeah, I can't move. It's very some of it. Take the mic.
Yeah, I know. I know that there. Jesus.
Wake up.
Zombie mode.
I'm sorry. He's in zombie mode. Literally.
I
Literally.
cannot wake up this morning. I apologize. I tried
Uh,
everything. I think I
ouch.
wanted to sleep in today.
I'm sorry. That's not happening.
You're not even gonna read the chapter title or any of that?
You
Uh,
already said it.
I said it twice. Why did I do that?
Exactly.
Okay, whatever.
Oh, chapter 2, Playing Mind Games. Mr. Maniac the Raccoon continued to talk to the audience, reading the book. Then all of a sudden, the audience that was reading the book started throwing roses at Maniac's feet. Thank you. Thank you very much. I would give you all an encore, but unfortunately, the writer would not allow another song for this chapter.
What?
You're the writer.
Oh, I can't. So I guess I have to save songs for other books, unfortunately. Other chapters, I mean.
Anywho, said Mr. Maniac the Raccoon as he puts his hat back on his head. Then the audience that was reading the book started booing.
Boo! Give us another song. We liked it.
Like, are you guys seeing what I'm seeing and hearing, or am I just going crazy? Said Lily, ignoring the fact that she is still cold with her arms crossed and her breath is visibly showing as she speaks. Did the bullies drug us before we went into the building? Asked Max. That would be kind of impossible to do if they didn't give you something to drink or a shot. Anywho, that's right, kid. Drugs make you see everything, even the truth. Mr. Meadow the raccoon said as he leans against Max's shoulder. Nice. No way, uh, drugs are bad for you, said Max as he pushes Maniac the raccoon off his shoulder. Good point, kid. Let's make sure that everybody gets the message, said Mr. Maniac the raccoon as he winks at him, at the same time pointing at him. I can't wink very well, so don't worry about it. uh, damn it, I lost my place. No. Oh, there we go. Then Mr. Maniac the raccoon pulls out of nowhere a giant stamp that reads, "Drugs are bad for you," and stamps Max's head. The fuck?
Ow!
No, yeah, I mean, I don't think it would hurt because stamps are usually just tape. Anywho, you go out, kid, tonight and protest against drugs. Have at it, said Mr. Maniac the raccoon as he bows at Max sarcastically. Ouch. That hurt, said Max with a complaint in his voice as he rubs the stamp on his head. Somebody get this kid a prize because he pointed out the most
Wait, you
obvious.
skipped something.
Hmm? What did I skip? Oh, I'm sorry, everyone.
Luckily, that's why I'm here.
So you're Mr. Maniac the raccoon, said Matt. Mr. Maniac the raccoon looks at Matt and says, "Somebody get this thick prize because he pointed out the most obvious thing in the world," said Mr. Maniac the raccoon. Then all of a sudden, sounds of bells come out of nowhere. Then confetti falls down on Matt's head. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, that does it, said Lily with anger in her voice. How about we get out of here before this gets even more weird? Said Lily as she stomps out of the room. Eventually, the other kids follow her. Just before they get to the front door, all the kids in the house not only lock, but the doors in the house not only lock, but they turn into brick walls. Oh no, you don't! Shouted Maniac the raccoon as he levitates in front of the kids. All four kids have the look of fright in their faces as they look upon Maniac the raccoon. You know, I should really be able to edit this and just put in like that weird anime face. You know, the one with like.
If I only knew how.
Listen, kids, I've been stuck inside that book for who knows how long, and I'm super, super bored. So, if you kids want to get out of here, you kids are going to have to play a game, said Mr. Miyata Raccoon. Extreme art technique. Oh, Jesus. Mr. Miyata Raccoon thought in his mind as a giant pencil started glowing yellow, then all of a sudden it stopped glowing.
What are you? Why are you scrolling down so much?
Because this is where I'm at.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
Now listen up. I just turned the basement into a maze, and here's the goal of the game. Excuse me, sorry. There are 6 different audio tapes and only one audio player. The goal of the game is to collect all the audio tapes and play them on the audio player. Once you successfully do that, a box will automatically open up that contains a key to the only exit in the whole maze. You must complete the task while at the same time avoiding deadly traps that I'll set throughout the entire maze. Try not to get yourself killed, because that would be hilarious, explained Mr. Miyagi the raccoon as he chuckled to himself. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, are you crazy or something? Asked Lily. She said in fear. Of course he is crazy. Why do you think his name is Mr. Maniac the Raccoon? He's a maniac, you dumb bum, said Matt. I don't think we have a choice, guys, said Max with certainty in his voice. Okay, guys, let's head to the basement, said Gerald as all the kids follow him down the stairs with
Remember. Moving
the
on.
door shutting behind them. Of course, I remembered. That is very sweet. Anyways, let the games begin. Oh man, I can't wait for these games to be started. Well, I guess it's time for me to start setting some traps, said Mr. Maniac the raccoon as he twirled his giant pencil around in circles. Then Mr. Maniac the raccoon teleported out of sight. Once the kids made it down into the basement, they noticed that there were more hallways and twists and turns than the last time they were downstairs in the basement. Ah, is everybody thinking the same thing? That this is going to be harder than I thought, said Gerald nervously. Like, yeah, and does everybody hear that weird cheery music in the background? Said Lily. It doesn't matter. Let's get this over and done with, so we can go home, said Max. All four kids split up in different directions, searching for the audio tapes. Like, at least it feels warmer down here, said Lily as she runs through the maze in the basement. Oh man, I can't wait to get started, said Mr. Maniac the raccoon as he levitates in an unknown location. 3D art technique, Maniac the raccoon thought in his mind as a giant pencil starts drawing different traps around the maze, and at a snap of Mr. Maniac the raccoon's fingers, they come to life. Lily stops in her tracks and sees walking bombs with feet and fuses lit. Mario. No, not the bombs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Sure. Lily shrieks and runs away as fast as she can. Lily, was that you? Said Max as he turns around. All of a sudden, Max hears a noise above him, and then he looks up and sees spikes from the ceiling coming directly at him. Max runs to avoid the spikes and dodges almost all of them, although one of them cuts his pants open. Oof. When Max got away, he said to himself, Man, that crazy creature wasn't lying. There are traps all over the place. One wrong move that I'm pushing up daisies, said Max. Then Max moves on and tries to find Lily. Max continues to explore the maze in the basement. Then he finds a flashlight. Cool, this will help, said Matt. Oh, Matt. Whoops. Matt rocks forward and doesn't see the trap door on the floor in front of him. Matt takes a step forward and all of a sudden the trap door opens. Luckily, Matt grabs the edge of the floor before falling into the trap. Inside the trap door on the bottom is lava, with two lava sharks jumping out of the lava trying to eat Matt.
But
Seriously? This is just like the video games you play and shows that you've seen.
you got the reference all wrong, but whatever.
Well, I mean, it reminds me of something that I know, but I can't put my finger on it.
I'm pretty darn sure Mr. Maniac the raccoon can do it for you because he breaks the fourth wall.
Anyways, with two spiked walls closing in from left to right, also in the face of angry video game nerd shows up and says, What are they thinking? You can't take that!
Mr. Maniac the raccoon can because any lawyers that try to frame him, he just blow him away with a shotgun like he always does.
I'm sorry, guys. My brother sometimes doesn't know how to make his
He's
own
gonna
things up.
take you back to the
No,
past.
no, 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 no. You're gonna get copyrighted. No. Nugget says no.
Nugget says no.
Luckily, Gerald comes by and sees Matt and tries to pick him up out of the trapdoor. What'd you guys think of that? Now that's what I call fan service, said Mr. Miyake the raccoon to the audience that is reading the book. Oh, God.
Answers.
I hope you all are enjoying yourselves because I'm not done yet, said Mr. Meow Raccoon to the audience. Gerald manages to pull Matt out of the trapdoor. You okay, Matt? Asked Gerald. Yeah, and this is getting too scary, said Matt. You're not kidding. I just opened up a door not 2 minutes ago and there were killer deer monsters that chased me back into the hallway. Luckily I lost them, I think, said Gerald.
Side fan service.
That somewhat reminds me of Undertale in a way, but I don't think you.
It's not from Undertale, but
Yeah. Come on, come on, when you those audio that doesn't make any sense.
I guess my editor must have missed it. Sorry, some of the sentences can be choppy.
Hmm. Then maybe we might be safe afterwards, said Matt. Both Matt and Gerald continued looking around the maze for the audio tapes. Meanwhile, Max continues to look for Lily after hearing her scream. Max stops in the middle of four direction hallways. Great. Now which directions did I hear Lily scream? Max thought with frustration in and his mind as he looks to the left and then to the right. All of a sudden, Lily runs past Max, screaming, running to his right through the hallways. Ah! Lily, what's wrong? Asked Max, even though that she was too far away to hear his question. All of a sudden, Max hears a noise behind him. Max turns around nervously and then sees 1 foot tall bombs with arms and feet that with what appears to be painted on red eyeballs, and on their headgear fuses lit, and the bombs start to run towards him. The King Bomb.
No, not even close. You're not getting these references right. It's terrible to watch.
It's what I imagine in my head, okay? I don't watch the same stuff as you do.
That's fair.
Don't mess with that so much.
It keeps falling apart. That's why I keep messing with it.
The bombs start to run towards him. Max gets scared and runs away as fast as he can, ignoring the injury on his leg. Eventually, Max comes to return, but he sees a hockey stick leaning up against the wall. Perhaps I can use this, Max thought to himself as he picked up the hockey stick and looked at it. Max holds the hockey stick to the ground and runs towards the bombs and starts hitting them one at a time back down the hallway. Max successfully hits them down the hallway, clearing a path as they explode when they land in the distance. Kaboom! I went a little too far.
You gotta get better at scrolling down.
Hush. After a while, Max's ears start to ring from the loud explosions. After all the bombs were gone, Lily comes back to see Max leaning on the hockey stick that is holding him up like a kickstand. Max then holds his ears in pain. Max, are you okay? Asks Lily as he tries to hold him up. What's that, Lily? I can't understand a word you're saying, Max shouted in her face. He must be deaf. Those explosions were so loud I heard them at least 20 feet away, Lily thought to herself with concern. Meanwhile, Matt and Gerald managed to find the tape recorder at the exit. Hey, I found the exit! But I dare not try to open it because it might be a deadly trap or it might just be locked, said Matt. Well, that monster told us that the exit door is locked anyways, but since we found the tape recorder, we know where to put the tapes once we find them, explained Gerald. Well, let's not sit here. We have to find those tapes, said Matt. Right, let's go, shouted Gerald with confidence.
Ignore that.
Then Matt and Gerald walked back the way they came to find the tapes. Meanwhile, Lily got Max to sit down to rest. Like, I hope the others are having better luck, Lily thought to herself. Meanwhile, Mr. Maniac the raccoon was watching everything that was going on. Maniac the raccoon saw Lily and Max just sitting there in the hallway. This will get too boring. Maybe I should come up with a solution and deal with injuries from the traps. Never expected them to actually survive the traps. Oh well, live and learn. And no audience. Some not to not be referring that kick-ass rock and roll music from everybody's favorite Blur. Or am I, said the Mr. Maniac the raccoon as he giggles. Okay, that did not really make sense to me, but okay. 3D art style, said Mr. Maniac the raccoon as his giant pencil draws a med kit. At a snap of his fingers, it goes to Gerald, drawing in midair to reality. Then Medkit levitates down through the roof and lands on the floor. Lily turns around and says, "Oh, medicine, this will help." Sure. Why not? Let's have something just appear out of nowhere. Plot. Convenience.
Yes, blood convenience.
Oh God, help us.
Yeah.
Said Lily as she picks up the med box. But before it even touches Max, the med box disappears into green sparkles and instantly Max's injuries were gone. What? I'm okay? Max said to himself as he looks over his healed body. Now remember, audience, this is a book on a video game, or is it? I can't tell the difference anymore, said Maniac the raccoon. Oh God. Max gets up and says, "Okay, Lily, I'm okay. Let's press on." Sure. Right, said Lily. 3D art, said Mr. Maniac the raccoon as his giant pencil draws multiple med boxes all over the maze. There, that should make the game fair, said Mr. Maniac the raccoon. Meanwhile, Matt and Gerald were walking down the hallways of the maze. Suddenly they came across a table, and on it was an audio tape. "Look, Gerald, we finally found one. That just leaves 5 more to go," said Matt with excitement. "Look, Matt, there's something written on the front of the tape. It says Vincent Harris," said Gerald, as he looked at the tape closely. "If I remember correctly, Vincent is the actor who voiced Maniac the raccoon, I think," responded Matt. Matt and Gerald take the audio tape to the tape recorder. They got there with no traps along the way. When they got there, Matt put the audio tape inside the tape recorder and presses play.
Don't do that. It was okay in the last book because in the last book I was actually awake. Now I'm falling asleep, bruh.
I'm sorry. Let's continue.
Yes.
This is the interview log of Vincent Harsh, When David Fisher came to meet me in 1940, he asked me if I would do the voice for one of his greatest creations, Mr. Maniac the raccoon. I said yes, of course, because my career was going downhill after all. Going downhill. After all, cartoon animation at that time was starting to become more
I should have turned off Steam.
there, more superior than stage acting, which was a profession that I normally did. David Fisher was a mystery to me. I always stayed in that small cubicle. I can understand working hard and drawing cartoon characters. What I don't understand is often times I'll take a peek into his cubicle and I would see him doing other things besides drawing. Strong cartoon characters. He would be drawing pentagrams and writing strange words on pieces of paper I did not understand nor have seen before. Honestly, I didn't care as long as I was being paid. It didn't matter to me besides. It was none of my business. When the tape recorder ended, Matt and Gerald looked at each other and the first thing they thought is they need to collect the rest of the tapes. Matt and Gerald went walking down the maze trying to find the rest of the tapes. Right there. Meanwhile, Max.
Nah, I think you passed it.
No, right here. This is where I'm at.
Okay.
I know where I'm at.
Okay.
Anyways, meanwhile, Max and Lily find a strange door within the maze. Max slowly goes through it, expecting the trap door. But instead they wind up opening up the door to an old bar. The floorboards and the roof and almost everything was dark yellow, and over at the bar table there was Maniac the raccoon sleeping with a large empty mug in his hand. Heh heh drunk drunk raccoon. Max walks up to Maniac the raccoon, takes out the hockey stick, and BAM! Hits Maniac the raccoon on the top of his head. Ow! Poor raccoon.
Watch this. It's
But
gonna get funny.
Maniac the raccoon screams, ah! Jumps and bounces off the walls like a pinball in the machine. Ding 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 ding. Even strange enough, every time he hit the walls, there was a ding noise and numbers pop up off the top of Maniac the Raccoon's head. Every time he hit the wall, eventually he slowed down and stopped and landed on the music stage. Hey, kids, now that was the funniest wake up call of all time, said Mr. Maniac the Raccoon, snapping his fingers to jazzy music. Well then, any normal character would be pissed off, but this guy just doesn't care.
You wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
He was doing it just to be funny.
Mm.
Or trying to be funny.
Please, no more singing. Just tell us where the audio tapes are, said Max. Oh, come on. I like his singing.
That's, well, he only sang once, so
I know.
don't worry.
Ah, come on, kids. Don't be like that. I got one audio tape right here. You just have to beat me at a dance off.
He's just playing with their heads. He's goofing off a lot.
Oh, yeah. Feel the jazz. Mr. Maniac Raccoon said with a snarky tone as he dances around, snapping his fingers, tilting his hat. Like you think you can beat me at a dance off? Ha ha, fat chance. Like at my school, I got like the first place trophy. for being the most far out dancer on stage shall prepare to lose, said Lily with confidence, at the same time pointing to the maniac raccoon. Hey, I already did that.
Stop
Anyways.
reading my mind. Moving on.
It's a little too dangerous to read each other's minds.
You're scrolling down too much, brah.
Right here is where I'm at.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. But if you skip something, I'm blaming you. Because I'm only going to record these once. Still doing it.
He's not awake.
Still not.
Mr. Raccoon quickly ran towards Lily with blinding speed, grabbing her hands and putting his hand on her hip. Then may I have this dance that I Miss Hottie? Okay.
Yeah, like I said, he teases.
Grrr. Why would he say grr?
I don't know.
Said Mr. Raccoon as he pushes his nose against Lily's. Oh God. Ew! Get away from me, you disgusting animal! Said Lily as she pushes Mr. Raccoon away and slaps him across the face. Good job. Actually, no. Bingo! Smack! After getting slapped, Raccoon swirls around and stops, looking at Lily with a rose in his mouth and stars floating around his head. Just a minute. Like it there, little lady? Said Mr. Raccoon with a deep voice and his eyebrows going up and down. Like, let's get this over with, said Lily. And Mr. Raccoon and Lily start dancing. Um, um, okay. I don't really know how to respond to that.
Just keep reading if you can't respond.
Mr. Raccoon leads Lily around the dance floor gracefully with class, like the great ballroom dancer he had become. Lily unknowingly moves to the beat with great style and flair and doesn't miss a step until the music stops. After they were done dancing, Lily and Mr. Raccoon waltzed towards the bar, ta- bar table arm in arm. Then out comes three cartoon weasels holding up squares of cardboard with numbers written on them. Then a bunch of roses land on Lily's feet. Looks like I win, but I don't think you can get out of here alive, said Mr. Raccoon as he gives Lily the audio tape. Like, thanks, I guess, said Lily with nervousness in her voice, still bewildered that she danced so well. Then Mr. Raccoon snapped his fingers, and suddenly musical instruments start play by themselves. The musical notes start coming out of them visibly and float around the bar. What's this? Said Max with concern. All of a sudden, one of the music notes touches Lily's shoulder, slicing her sleeve on her shoulder open with a small squirt of blood. Like, ouch! Like, these musical notes are dangerous. We cannot touch them, said Lily as a reaction. Of course they are. Now good luck not becoming corpses. Ha 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 ha, said Mr. Meow the Raccoon as he levitates over Max and Lily's head, laughing miraculously. Then Mr. Meow the Raccoon returns into a swirling vortex of uh, graphite,
Yes.
then disappears. I hate that raccoon, said Max. Like, it's what we got to do. How do, we get out of here without becoming like Swiss cheese? Said Lily as she's panicking. We'll just have to walk through this room very slowly, said Max heroically. Max and Lily walked through the music notes across the bar successfully with no further injuries. However, as soon as they got to the door, there was another trap laid out for them. There were large balloons going up and down, and at the bottom of them was no floor but spikes at the bottom. Looks like Mr. Maniac Raccoon wants us to jump on these balloons to get to the other side without falling towards death, said Max as he points to the other side where it's safe. Wipe out.
Fan service. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of that.
Max jumps on the balloons towards the other side. Luckily, he does not fall and manages to make it. Max turns around and says, "Come on, Lily, you can do it," shouted Max. So Lily can hear him from the other side. Lily trembles in fear, almost frozen in places. Like, Max, I am afraid of heights. It doesn't help that there's spikes at the bottom, said Lily, chattering her teeth in fear. Poor girl. Max jumps
Which is
across.
weird because you don't like her, sort of, or whatever.
Mixed emotions.
Yes.
Max jumps across the balloons to get Lily, and then Max takes her hand and helps her jump across the balloons again. They manage to make it. As Max and Lily try to catch their breath, Mr. Maniac the raccoon is watching them from an unknown location. Perhaps that trap was too easy. I probably should have put Ghost in the maze. Oh wait, I'm thinking about the wrong video game. Hee fan service. Mr. Raccoon giggles to the audience.
What do you think of this character?
He's the same as the roleplay, for the most part. Meanwhile, Max and Lily make it to the tape recorder. Lily then puts the tape in the tape recorder and presses play.
Can I do something real quick?
Let me finish this. I'm right there. I go.
There you go.
Okay.
Now you don't have to get interrupted by steam.
Okay. This is an interview tape of Miss Clary Rose. Before my career started as an actress, I was in serious debt, being forced to be an erotic dancer for the local bar in Los Angeles. Then I met a man named David Fisher. He offered me a job if I decided to leave my old one. Of course, I accepted with no hesitation, wanting to get away from that death trap. After that, I played the voice of Lucy the rabbit in the famous show Mr. Maniac the Raccoon in 1944. It is ironic that I play as a character that represents what I didn't want to be, but I think it's a lot better than I was before. My pay was good, and eventually I was able to pay off all my bills thanks to David Fisher. I cannot thank him enough, even though he was a strange man. A bit of a mystery, but I didn't care. The tape ended. Suddenly, Matt and Gerald showed up with another tape. Gerald had a bunch of shooting darts stuck in it to him. He was pulling them out one at a time with small squirts of blood every time he takes one out. Look, guys, I found another audio tape, said Matt as he shows the audio tape to Max and Lily. Good, let's play this one. Then we're closer to getting out of here. We must escape the house, said Max heroically.
And
Haha.
that's the end of it. Wow, this
Yeah,
one was pretty short.
chapter
I was
3.
expecting the other. So, what do you think?
It was good.
Ah, well, let's end this video really quickly.
I bet the next one's probably just as short.
Hehe, hehe.
It's the next one. And the last one, I think.
I'm okay, everybody. And my cords all tangled up, but I'll take care of that off camera. Anyways, please like, subscribe, and this is Zerduku and Akari signing out.